Hello everyone, my name is Harlow Main. I'm an inventor and head of the engineering department at Mainex Technology Limited. And I proudly present to you the H2 Flex Hydrogen Hybrid Kit.
You've probably heard of the miracle, turning water into wine. But how about turning water into gas? Yes, you heard correctly. It's not a scene from a sci-fi movie. This is reality. Thanks to the invention of Harlow Main, the H2 Flex Hydrogen Hybrid Kit combines aluminium, water and plastic soda to produce 100% pure hydrogen gas, which in turn powers any motor vehicle with an internal combustion or electric engine.
It converts water into gas using chemical reaction. And we use resources that you can find here, such as water, any kind of water, including dirty water and salt water. And if you can't find any water, you could actually pee in it. When you put that in, a chemical reaction takes place with the water and the aluminum. The water will try to eat aluminum, and in that process, hydrogen gas is released at about 250 psi. You put the unit in the trunk because, as you can see, it's a big unit, and you run the fuel line from the unit to either the fuel line of the vehicle, the car, or straight to the intake manifold of the engine.
After 7 years in the development phase, Harlow and his colleagues put his invention to the test.
What we did is connect it to the intake manifold of our 2005 Nissan AD car, and we drove it around town, and we drove it all the way to St. Anne's Bay without using the gasoline, and just to demonstrate to ourselves the efficiency of the product. And we drove it with the vehicle, and we disconnect the fuel pump relay to make sure that there's no fuel going to the engine, and only the hydrogen gas going to it from the technology.
Inspiring results for the H2 Flex Hydrogen Hybrid Kit. But what was Harlow's inspiration? Well, we can all relate to the increasing gas bill. Spending less at the pumps is an obvious benefit. Then there's the big picture, reducing Jamaica's dependence on oil and exploring alternative sources of energy. But for consumers, the benefits go deeper.
Improve gas mileage, or you could completely eliminate petrol from your vehicle. It will also enable your vehicle to run smoother, cleans the engine as you drive, so no more tune-ups. And it will also help the environment greatly because it's a very environmentally friendly product.
Harlow Main is no stranger to scientific inventions. He invented a vending machine for hot roasted peanuts, a trifold toothbrush, and a technology that squeezes a mop by the push of a button. But it was with the H2 Flex Hydrogen Hybrid Kit that he struck gold, attracting the attention of businesses both locally and overseas. After completing the initial design, it was refined by engineers in California, who developed a computer-aided design software for the product. That was later sent to China so that a mock-up sample could be completed. But being a proud ambassador for the Build Jamaica campaign, Harlow took the H2 Flex machine to a local company so that it could be reinforced with fiberglass. And since then, they have cemented a partnership with endless possibilities.
I'm partnering with the Jamaica Fiberglass Products, which is JFP, to mass produce the product for the Jamaican market and the wider Caribbean, and possibly the global market. We need to prop up the Jamaican employment and the economy, and there's no better way of doing that than with a local company.
The government, through the Scientific Research Council SRC, has also supported the development of the product through the World Bank-funded Caribbean Climate Innovation Center.
This is not about me per se, but this is about saving the economy, the local economy, and helping the environment.
The Ministry of Science, Technology, Energy and Mining, the National Commission on Science and Technology and the Scientific Research Council is proud to present Harlow, Maine with the 2014 National Innovation Award for the H2 Flex Hydrogen Hybrid Kit.
Minister of Science, Technology, Energy and Mining, Honorable Victoria, will present this award to the National Innovator of the Year. And of course, let's keep the applause going for National Innovator of the Year in Science and Technology. Harlow, Maine of Minex Technology. And he walked away earlier on with a $250,000. Now he gets $500,000 extra. $500,000. Well, they walk away with it.
I'd like to thank everybody here for supporting me. I would like to thank the Honorable Prime Minister, Portia St. Helena, members of the panel, Honorable Paul Philip Harwell, and just about everybody here. I would like to thank Mrs. Carr from the Scientific Research Council, the Caribbean CIC, which is a member of the Royal Bank, which they supported me in this project, and my team behind me. I also like to thank my family who gave me all the support in bringing this product together. I believe this product can change Jamaica and the Caribbean. We can export renewable energy to the world, the entire world, and also save the environment at the same time.
Thank you to Mr. Maine and the other members of the team. I suppose all of us, before we leave here tonight, will be yanging for Mr. Maine to find out how we can get one of these things. Maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago, I had the pleasure of chairing the launch of the Poppy Appeal at Kirby Place. This is done each year, annually, organized by the Jamaica Defense Force. And the military band normally does a great display, and they invite from time to time performers from outside of the JDF. Pat Wooden is usually a staple there. But for the very first time this year, I heard a young man perform, and he really was exceptional. He's from Manchester. He teaches music. He teaches about 3 or 4 instruments and also voice. And what was also very striking about this performer is that he was coming down with chickpea at the time and was roasting and shivering. But he gave a brilliant performance. Ladies and gentlemen, could you help me welcome the very talented, you're going to hear him pass for the first time, but you will never forget, Buddy Rose!
And help us to be wise in times when we don't know. Let this be our prayer when we lose our way. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace. say so will be said. So now al mondo senza più violenza, un mondo di sweet e di speranza. Just like every child needs to find a place, guide us with your grace to a place where we Sento che ci I'm Bonnie Rose, as Faye said, and Bonnie is my real name. So I get that, 6 months later, some of them, we've been talking, we know each other for 6 months, a year, and they come to me and say, so what is your real name? So it is my real name. Now this next song is one of my favorites. Nighttime showers, items each sensation, dark stirs, and wakes imagination, silently the senses abandon their defenses. Open up your mind. Can you belong to me? Floating thought, sweet intoxication, touch me, trust me, savory sensation. Let the dream begin, let your dark side give in to the power of the music that I write. The power of the music of the You alone can make my song take flight. Help me make the music of the This next song, I think our awardees can relate to this next song. It speaks about daring to dream. That dream that seemed impossible. Daring to dream. The impossible dream to find the unbeatable, to bear with unbearable sorrow, and to run with a great deal of gold, to rise the unrighted wrongs, and to love your chase from afar, to try though your arms are weary, and to reach the unreachable star. This is my quest to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far. The fight for the right, with a question of force, to be willing to march in hell for the heavenly cause. And I know it will only be true to this glorious quest that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I lay to my rest, and the world will be better for this, that one man sworn and covered in scars, still strong with his last ounce of courage, to reach the unreachable star. that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I lay to my rest, and the world will be better for this. That one man swore that covered his scars, still strong with his last knots of courage to reach the unreachable, the unreachable,
I'm not his booking agent, but if you're looking for somebody for your Christmas party, check Bonnie Rose. Real class. We now move on to the National Medal in Science and Technology. I'd like to welcome the Chief Judge for the National Medal for Science and Technology and Chairman of the National Foundation for Development of Science and Technology, Mr. Robert Levy, who will offer the judge's report. Mr. Levy?
I'm encouraged because when I get to heaven, I'm going to sing just like him. Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Minister of Technology, Minister Paul Webb, our Honorable Mayor, Diplomatic Corps. Prime Minister, I'm sure it's the first time you've ever seen a chicken man judging scientists. And I think a little explanation is needed why I've been mentioned a couple of times, and that is because years ago, the Honorable Prime Minister at that time, Prime Minister Patterson, forming a foundation as the private sector to come together to form a foundation for assisting with the Secretariat at the National Commission on Science and Technology. Well, I was brought onto that committee. Jamaica Brothers were one of the companies, along with, I think it was about 10 other companies, that put up a sizable amount of funds to help the commission. During the years, the commission has not functioned very well, but we have had an amazing executive director in Merlin Bardowell, who held the thing together, this fund and this foundation, for so many years, and would not let me go. And therefore, Merlin and myself were the only signatories on this fund. And therefore, when the energy to bring back the commission under Professor Errol Morrison, who has been a pleasure to work with, they needed funds, and Minister called on me. And being the holder of funds, you therefore are elevated to a position like where I am tonight. But it has been a tremendous pleasure. It has been a tremendous pleasure, right? There's just one other thing I just want to mention, and that is, I know that this year the scientific research has without a doubt majored on our green goal, as it is called, and many statements have been made relative to our green goal. And I just want to say that Jamaica Brothers doesn't necessarily agree with all the statements that have been made about our green goal, obviously talking about ganja, right? And I just feel that there is some of our constituencies that are really concerned. Is Jamaica Brothers really promoting all of these things? I just want to say that without a doubt we know and agree with the Prime Minister, there are tremendous benefits in our plants and herbs, and in this we fully support. In this position, it has been a great honor being chosen to chair this committee, but I think more of an honor for me has been to work along with the committee that has been chosen. I'd like to just mention them, read their names out. The committee consisted of Mrs. Patricia Sutherland, Professor Winston Davidson, Mr. Wesley Hughes, Dr. Arnold Ventura, Mrs. Jackie Sharp, Dr. Conrad Douglas, Dr. Eric Deans, and Professor Wayne McNaughton. If they're here, could I ask them to stand? And let's give them a hand. I certainly was educated and informed on so many things as I sat with these distinguished people. I just need to explain very quickly what we did in arriving at our awardee. First of all, a booklet, and I say a booklet was sent out on each of the 3 contributors, right, of which we waded through, but was extremely informative. And then with the help of Professor Aaron Morrison, a score sheet was sent out, of which we individually worked on. And then we had a breakfast meeting, of which we reviewed those different scores as we had each marked, and out of that we came out with a decision as who should be this year's awardee. And with that, I think we're going to have a presentation of a small video on each one of the awardees. And we are convinced that Jamaica has done well in choosing the right person.
Let me ask Mr. Powell to prepare to join us on stage again for the presentation of the certificates of recognition to the shortlisted finalists. Could you come this way for us? And then after that, the vignettes will be played. The shortlisted finalists who will ask them to come to accept these certificates are Dr. Henry Lowe.